You can't come to Hamfest and not see Ray. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Just staying busy in the booth here. It's been a crazy show.
Yeah, Sunday's a little bit slower, but man, yesterday you had just an enormous amount of people over here at the booth.
Yeah, it's not bad for a Sunday either.
No. I mean, first time I've been here. How many times you been here, Ray?
Oh, too many times I've lost count. I've been with Icom for 28 years now. Before that, 6 years at MFJ, and been here all of those years. So. Yeah. So, Ray, I got to ask you. Tell me. Let's see. What do I want to play with today? What do I want to know about today? I want to know about the ID-52. What can you tell us about the ID-52? I want to touch one. Do you have one? Yes, sir. I do.
Do you really?
I've got the prototype that I've had for quite a few months. Been showing it a lot lately.
Ooh, its color. Look at that. Nice.
Not only is it color, but it's transflective, so we go outside in direct sunlight, we can still see it. It's the same type of display that we use in our Land Mobile P25 product.
Nice. Now tell me, Ray.
Nice new menu system to it.
Oh, yes. Yes. Love it. Look at that. Love it. You guys with the Icoms, I've said this before, guys, and Ray, you know, all your Icom, we went through this last time. Your menu structures are great. You always make it easy to use the damn radio. You shouldn't have to be a rocket scientist and have this weird, we're going to change the menu structure. You guys have everything that looks, you know, all the 7100, or the 7300, 9700, 705, the 7610. This is coming like that for what it is. It's the first color handheld you've had, right?
Right.
So, I mean,
at least in the amateur side.
Yes, the amateur side. So, yeah, definitely cool. Ray, tell me this. So, it's a lot of buzz, and I don't hear it till I don't say it or whatever until I hear it from the main man. So I did know that they started announcing this, and then the production fell out. Tell me, make it clear here, or let's talk about what's happening, because I don't know when people say, when's the ID-52? I don't know. I'm not going to say anything I don't know.
The ID-52 was supposed to come out December, let me think here, 2020. And right before it went into production, they had the huge fire in the AKM facilities. And some of the chips that are used in this product come from that factory.
Right.
Not only has it impacted this radio, but it has impacted a lot of the other manufacturers' products. We've had to re-engineer and recertify almost every one of our marine products, every one of our aviation products, and the majority of our land mobile products. So all of the things that we were doing as far as new product development got put on the back shelf, because we have to keep producing products for customers that need product today, not what we might have a year, 2 or 3 years down the road.
Right.
So that did disrupt things a bit, but recovery has been real good. We're caught up in shipping a lot of the product again, and then compound all of that with the shipping challenges of getting containers, air freight costs, sea shipment costs. All of it has just gone through the roof. So there's all of those challenges that have been in front of us, but right now I'm sorry.
It does. It's not a hoax. It will exist. It's just a little bit of things that little ripple, wrench in the cog. That's all.
Now, in the interim, they did release, and they have been shipping for the Japanese domestic market, which is one of their largest markets. The United States being the second largest market because of the ham population. So, as a betting man, I'd say either by the end of December, beginning of January, we should start seeing some of the product.
Now, can you tell me one thing that would be interesting that is different than the ID-51? Is there, let's see, let me pick something. Is there a band scope on here?
Yes, there is a band scope. We go into the quick menu, very top there, band scope, either single sweep or continuous sweep.
Look, guys. Perfect. I've mentioned this before, that band scopes on handhelds are very useful. Why? Because I found many of people talking on other simplex channels instead of 5.2 and didn't know they existed there, and they talked there every night, or repeaters that weren't listed, or repeaters that just you can't find, and the band scope always allows you to find somebody. You may think that's just for HF. No, band scopes are for handhelds on VHF, FM, and UHF as well.
As you wear the t-shirt that says "Don't be a scope head."
Exactly. Well, listen, Ray, the bands are dead. Okay,
that's what everybody tells us.
Exactly. There's no reason to have. So the reason the shirt came out was because, in fact, I debuted this shirt when the 705 came out, and the reason I said that was because I had somebody here today. Ready, Ray?
Okay.
They told me, and they're a viewer, and he says, well, why would you buy a 705? You can't make contacts at 10 watts. Now, okay, no, yes, I've had this. This is,
man.
I know, and you know what? I said, but that's only when I hook an external battery to it, guy. I said, I do it at 5 watts. There's no way. But his understanding and mindset is, if you don't have a waterfall, you'll never find anybody. So that's not the case. For me, I use a tube radio on field day, and I was making contacts all day long with no scope at all.
There you go.
When's the last time you used a tube radio rig? Look what you, Ray, look what you got here. Do you have a tube rig in your possession?
No, sir.
Oh, that's a shame.
I mean, the only tube rig that we had from Icom was a hybrid, which was the old IC 700. It had a receive with tubes, but the transmitter was solid state.
What year was that?
So that's Icom's claim to fame, is all of our transceivers or transmitters have been solid state.
So they never had a tube transmitter?
No, sir.
Wow, I learned something new every day. When's the last time you used one of those 700s?
Had one in my office when I was in Kirkland as a museum piece, but I've never fired up a tube radio. Although my very first radio did have tubes, and it wasn't an Icom, but I didn't know any better back then.
Yeah, well, I don't know any better either. I got hit with the top of that tube when I opened the case, and it didn't feel good. So I know better now. Don't open the top of a tube radio when it's on.
Oh, so you were energized.
Oh yeah, but I didn't have both hands on it, so I don't, but yeah, it hurt pretty bad. Uh-huh.
And you look like that bunny too. You're sitting there slapping that hand, I bet.
Actually, what I did was I remember walking out in the kitchen, and I stood there next to my wife. She said, "What are you doing?" I was so out of it. I said, "In case I die, at least I'm not laying on the floor in there before you find me 4 hours later and the fire ants eat me." And she said, "What happened?" I didn't even know what happened. I hit that thing with my finger by accident, and I ran out there. And by the time I came to it, I said, "Wow, I got a nice white burn mark on my finger." That was not fun, but I learned my lesson.
Yeah, I've had a story similar to that with an amplifier. Took a couple of hours before I got the taste back in my mouth because the tongue was tingling.
So anything else before I wrap it up that you want to tell me about? Maybe something else that might be in the works?
One of the other cool things with the ID-52 is going to be the Bluetooth on it.
Nice.
So you got Bluetooth. I have not tried it with this one. Again, this is a prototype, but when I get one of the production units, the first thing I'm going to do is test it like we do our aviation portables to see if it will pair with my AirPods.
So would you be able to do any kind of programming or data connectivity with Bluetooth as well?
There's going to be an app for it to control it, so you'll be able to do the photo share, and that's one of the things on the radio.
I started using it on the 705 when I did the update because I was behind.
So now I can receive photos or bring one up to transmit right from the radio.
Look and see, it's identical to the 9700 layout, the 705 layout with the photos. I mean, I can imagine. I know exactly how it's going to look because I've seen that on other radios I have.
Now,
so
one of the other things is when specs on this radio first came out, there were a few people that were taking pot shots at the radio, going, "Oh, well, it just looks like it's a warmed over radio." The thing is, when people love a user interface, why change it?
Exactly.
So, to define a new radio is to come out with one that is now you've got to completely relearn how to operate the radio. That qualifies it as a new design. I'm sorry, we're not going to do that.
No. And now that you just showed me that, there's an SD card you can put in there, correct? Micro SD?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then that means you could be on DSTAR at fast data. You could take the picture, or you could take the picture with the phone.
As you can see, it is a submersible radio.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get
Don't
it
worry
out
about
with my gnawed down fingernails.
I did that with another radio, and by the time I got it out, that was ripped that thing off. So
it's easier for the speaker microphone. There again, the cheap imitations are not going to have the O-ring and the indention to go all the way in there, so be careful of that. And then you've got your charging system. I know I'm going to hear some boo-ha-ha about all of that. Micro USB, not a C or anything like that.
It's okay because I got 8,000 micro USB, so I'll never be without a charging cable.
So
again.
you got to take a look at the size of the radio and the size of the ports. And then
so
you got
drop-in charger
connector.
and you can do it with micro USB.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
If you've got a 705, you can slap this battery on the back of the 705 and charge it that way.
That is just awesome. Could you use that battery on the 705?
No.
Okay.
This has got the lower capacity.
Right,
Lower capacity,
but you can charge it on there.
The battery off the 705 can go on here, and then you've got the high capacity part.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. See, it pays to just keep with the Icom. all
And
the
you can
different.
even see when I snap the battery on, it's asking me which one do I have on it.
Nice, awesome. That is a definitely. I haven't had an ID-51 in a while. I had the original 50th anniversary green. I ended up, that DSTAR was becoming a little more popular than it wasn't like it is now, and moved on and then went back and forth. But that's going to be the next Icom radio that I'm going to get right there, because there's going to be a lot of new stuff that I can show about that thing.
And then there you go, the DV gateway. And a lot of people are like, well, you only do call sign routing, things like that. Well, the guys from the IRC-DDB has made it where our DV gateway works with their gateway software and their reflectors. Mm-hmm. So depending on the repeater owner, if he's configured the reflector and the repeater to have that upgrade, then you'll be able to use your ID-52, your 705 to talk to an XLX or an XLS or XRF reflector.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Ray, this is always fun coming to see you. You got to come to Huntsville Hamfest and other Hamfests to see my friend Ray here. But thanks for the time, Ray. And hopefully when that thing gets ironed out or they get the production going, I will have one of those ID-52s hopefully. And 73.
73.